They've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico. I'm just notifying John Deere right now. If you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything that you want to sell into the United States, so that if I win, John Deere is going to be paying a 200%.
John Deere just steamrolled over Trump, and let's just say he didn't take it well. In a bizarre, almost cartoonish meltdown, Trump lashed out after the legendary green giant wiped the floor with him in a way no one saw coming. Was it a political slap in the face, a branding war, or maybe a road tractor rebellion? The details are wild and almost too ridiculous to believe, but one thing's for sure, this wasn't just a loss, it was a full-on harvest of humiliation. So what exactly went down? Hold on tight, because this ride is about to get real interesting.
John Deere reacting tonight. The company, after a reaction after former President Donald Trump said earlier this week he would impose a 200% tariff on the company if it moved production to Mexico. Now, earlier this year, Deere announced it would be moving part of its production line from Dubuque John Deere Works to Mexico, also laying off 99 local workers. In a statement to the KWWL News Department here today, John Deere said the layoffs were due to what they called a weakening farm economy in
John Deere versus Donald Trump, the feud nobody saw coming. Yet here we are, watching an unstoppable tractor clash with an immovable ego. For decades, the iconic green and yellow agricultural giant has been the backbone of America's farmlands, with its machines plowing fields, harvesting crops, and keeping the heartland humming. For farmers, John Deere isn't just a brand, it's practically a way of life. Meanwhile, Trump has spent years branding himself as the champion of rural America, pushing trade war battles, making ethanol promises, and snapping plenty of farmer hat photo ops. But now, the love affair between the two seems to be hitting a pothole the size of a combined harvester.
Former President Trump has proposed a 200% tariff on John Deere tractors if they're made in Mexico. Are you concerned that some of these tariff proposals by the Dubuque economy drive up costs for consumers or hurt urban borders in Kentucky, for example?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of tariffs. They raise prices for American consumers. I'm more of a free trade kind of Republican that remembers how many jobs are created by the export.
So what sparked this all-out mudslinging match between these two giants? Was it a poorly timed tweet? A rogue John Deere tractor showing up at a Trump rally? Not exactly. The roots of this feud run deep in the fertile soil of business and politics, where money and power flourish. Despite its strong American roots, John Deere has been making moves that don't exactly align with Trump's brand of economic nationalism. The company has leaned into automation, sustainability, and global trade policies. Policies that, let's just say, don't sit well with someone who thinks innovation is all about slapping tariffs on anything that moves. Farmers, many of whom supported Trump, have long relied on John Deere, but they also need fair trade, affordable equipment, and policies that don't send crop prices into a freefall.
John Deere announced a mass layoff that will affect 75 employees at its Ottumwa facility. According to the Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification site, the announcement was made Monday. The layoffs will go into effect on February 7th. This comes after John Deere Ottumwa Works temporarily shut down the plant in early December. They say the shutdown was a response to reduced customer demand for agricultural equipment. The plant has since reopened. The company will be offering affected employees transition assistance, which may include severance packages.
Then came the big moment, the spark that ignited the tractor-fueled firestorm. John Deere, in a move that sent shockwaves through conservative circles, took a business stance Trump simply couldn't ignore. Was it their push for stronger worker rights and unions, which clashed with Trump's pro-corporate rhetoric? Or maybe it was their strategic shift in global supply chains, hinting they weren't exactly on board with his America First mantra. Even worse, there were whispers that John Deere made a not-so-subtle move that Trump saw as a political jab. Whether it was a corporate endorsement, a leadership shakeup, or even a sleek ad campaign that seemed to troll him, Imagine a John Deere commercial about getting the job done airing right after one of his rally speeches. It was clear the tractor had come for Trump's turf.
John Deere announced it is laying off nearly 120 employees at a facility in Ankeny. The layoffs impact workers at John Deere Des Moines Works. A spokesperson says the layoffs are due to a weakened farm economy and a reduction in customer orders for its equipment. The layoffs will happen on March 28th, April 4th, and April 28th.
Whatever the trigger, Trump took it personally. And when Trump takes something personally, the world knows within minutes. His Truth Social account was lighting up like a Christmas tree at Mar-a-Lago, packed with rants about woke tractors, overrated farming equipment, and something about how he probably invented the wheel before John Deere even thought of it. His supporters, many of whom proudly parked John Deere tractors in their barns, were left wondering, do they stand with their favorite brand or with their favorite political showman?
More John Deere employees here in central Iowa will soon be without a job. KCCI's Kayla James reports 119 employees from the Ankeny plant will be laid off over the next few months.
John Deere tells us the layoffs at John Deere Des Moines Works in Ankeny will occur across the 3 dates, the final group happening on April 28th. An agricultural economist at the Iowa State University says, unfortunately, these layoffs are not surprising.
There's a lot of uncertainty right now around our economy.
And just like that, the battle lines were drawn. John Deere, a company that has spent nearly 200 years steering clear of political drama, suddenly found itself at the heart of a Trump-fueled spectacle. But unlike most of his targets, Deere wasn't backing down. This wasn't just another feud. It was shaping up to be a full-blown harvest of humiliation. Then, like a finely tuned combine roaring to life at dawn, John Deere made its move. And it was a beauty. No press conferences, no dramatic statements, just cold, hard business, the kind that cuts deep. The company, the very symbol of American farming grit, decided it was done playing along with Trump's economic tantrums. Maybe it was their decision to expand production outside the U.S., quietly sidestepping Trump's America First fantasy. Maybe it was their embrace of automation, a direct challenge to Trump's obsession with bringing back real American jobs, which, ironically, no one in America actually wanted. Or maybe, just maybe, it was Deere's quiet but undeniable nod to workers' rights, continuing to negotiate fairer deals for laborers while Trump was busy cheering on union busting like a billionaire who thought hard work meant firing people on TV.
Oh, yeah. You think Biden can do that? I don't know.
Whatever the exact trigger, the effect was instant. It wasn't just a business decision, it was an earthquake, sending shockwaves through Trump's cherished rural voter base. For years, Trump had pounded his chest in front of factory workers and farmers, promising to restore American greatness, while mostly handing out tax cuts to billionaires and taking credit for jobs that never materialized. And now, here was John Deere, the true titan of Middle America, basically saying, yeah, no thanks. Cue the meltdown. Trump, a man who built an empire by slapping his name on buildings he didn't even construct, now found himself up against a company that had been building actual things since 1837. And worse, the people he thought would rally behind him, the tractor-owning, corn-harvesting, MAGA hat-wearing faithful, were suddenly stuck in a tough spot. Let's be honest, John Deere wasn't just any company to these folks. It was a legacy, a lifeline, a way of life. And now, Trump was trying to convince them that their beloved green and yellow workhorse had gone woke. But the farmers, they weren't buying it.
We need Greenland, very importantly, for international security. We have to have Greenland. It's not a question of, do you think we can do without it? We can't. If you look at Greenland right now, if you look at the waterways, you have Chinese and Russian ships all over the place. And we're not going to be able to do that. We're not relying on Denmark or anybody else to take care of that situation. And we're not talking about peace for the United States. We're talking about world peace. We're talking about international security. And right now, you look at it, you have warships all over the place going through right along
Sure, they might have chuckled when Trump ranted about windmills causing cancer, but this was personal. These were their tractors, their fields, their livelihoods. No matter how many times Trump screamed about loyalty, they weren't about to park their John Deeres in protest just because some New York real estate guy had his feelings hurt. But the real kicker? John Deere didn't even flinch. No angry press releases, no scrambling to clarify their stance, just pure, unbothered industrial strength confidence, the kind that comes from knowing you actually matter. The company just kept rolling, watching from the rearview mirror as Trump flailed, realizing for the first time in his life that he'd picked a fight with something bigger than his ego, a corporation that wasn't afraid of him, a brand that didn't need his approval, and a machine that could literally run him over. Then, like clockwork, the meltdown began. Within hours, Truth Social lit up with a flurry of furious, typo-ridden rants that felt less like a businessman responding to a move and more like a man who'd just found out his favorite fast food joint had discontinued his go-to-order. John Deere is turning against the great American farmer. He fumed, apparently forgetting how to spell the name of the company that had been building farm equipment for nearly 2 centuries. They used to be very strong, very pro-Trump, and now, total disaster. People are saying they've gone woke. Very sad.
We begin tonight with breaking news on Deere & Company, who is being sued by the Federal Trade Commission. The FTC, along with the Illinois and Minnesota Attorneys General, is accusing John Deere of holding a monopoly on its repairs for combines and tractors. So the suit says Deere is limiting farmers and independent mechanics' ability to repair equipment themselves. Deere customers are forced to rely on a network of authorized dealers for necessary parts and repairs, and the FTC says this boosts profit for Deere while burdening farmers with higher costs and delays. The lawsuit seeks to stop Deere's conduct by ordering it to make its repair tools available to owners and independent repair shops.
Trump warns John Deere, if you build your factories in Mexico, we'll put a 200% tariff on all your goods sold back in this country. Go get them, Trump.
I know a lot about John Deere. I love the company, but as you know, they've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico.
And then, of course, came the classic Trumpian revisionist history. Asterisk, frankly, I've done more for farmers than anyone. Maybe even John Deere himself, who, by the way, I hear was not that great. Okay, some say he didn't even invent the tractor. Look it up. Asterisk, never mind the fact that John Deere actually invented the steel plow, not the tractor, but details were never really Trump's strong suit. The campaign trail only made things worse. At rallies, he'd point at random green tractors in the crowd, shaking his head like he'd just caught them cheating on him. Asterisk, look at that. Folks, look at that Trader tractor. Disgusting. And you know what? We don't need them. I hear Kubota's a great brand, very strong, much better. Asterisk farmers, many of whom had owned John Deere equipment since their grandfather's time, awkwardly shuffled in their seats, unsure whether to cheer or hide their tractor keys. And of course, the media had a field day. Late-night comedians had way too much material to work with. Jimmy Kimmel couldn't stop laughing at Trump's claim that he probably could have been a great farmer asterisk if he hadn't been too busy being a genius businessman asterisk. Stephen Colbert ran a segment called Asterisk Make Tractors Great Again, asterisk, joking that Trump would soon start demanding loyalty oaths from farm equipment.
President Trump says the United States needs Greenland for international security. President insisting that the U.S. must control the semi-autonomous Danish territory. He made those remarks from the White House while Vice President J.D. Vance visited a U.S. military base in Greenland and said that Denmark has underinvested in the island's security. Vance's trip was cut short and his visit was limited to the military base after Greenland and Denmark protested the visit. Holly Williams is in the capital, Nuuk, where the president's territorial ambition.
And then, of course, asterisk Saturday Night Live asterisk thrived, dedicating an entire cold open to a parody of a fake Trump rally where he tried to sit on a John Deere tractor, only to dramatically fall off and blame asterisk rigged tires. Asterisk, meanwhile, political rivals saw an opportunity to twist the knife. Asterisk, Donald Trump is at war with tractors now asterisk, one former senator quipped on Twitter. Asterisk, next up, a fistfight with a scarecrow. Asterisk, even some Republicans quietly distanced themselves, not wanting to get dragged into what was objectively the dumbest political feud of the year. But Trump, he just kept going. At one point, he claimed John Deere's tractors were overrated because they didn't have gold trim and very beautiful, very classy interiors like his buildings. Then came the inevitable merchandise rollout: red hats reading asterisk, keep tractors, conservative asterisk, and limited edition Trump-approved toy bulldozers, as if that would somehow undo the damage. Yet through it all, John Deere stayed silent. No statements, no Twitter replies, no press conferences. Just the steady hum of tractors doing their job. And for Trump, that silence spoke louder than any insult. Farmers weren't exactly lining up to burn their John Deere caps. Sure, some of Trump's most diehard supporters grumbled, reposting his all-caps rants and swearing to never buy green again. But when it came down to it, they had fields to plow, crops to harvest, and reality to face, none of which involved throwing a tantrum over a tractor brand.